Before you dive into any games with the new PSVR2, there are some default settings that you need to change even after the setup process. Some of these will really enhance your VR experience and even unlock features, so make sure you stick around for all of them. The first setting is in accessories, then PSVR2, and is the option to enable enhanced tracking. Whilst my experience with the tracking has been excellent so far, I have experienced a couple glitches here and there, but with this enabled, I've had no problems whatsoever. It will add a frame to the output on your TV screen, but I don't see how that would ever be an issue, and if you do want the gameplay to fit the full screen at any point, you can always temporarily disable it. Setting number 2 is in sound, then audio output, and if you scroll quite far down to the general section, you'll see an option labelled as side tone volume. This is effectively an audio pass-through option, so if you are playing with others in the room, or perhaps you have a pet that you don't want to stand on, change this to 1 or 2 so you get a little bit of external audio come through your headphones. Moving on, setting 3 is incredibly useful. It is kind of bizarre though and has really confused me, but by default the cinematic mode does not have 120Hz support and the option for it is grayed out. However, you can unlock it. If you go to your screen and video settings, then change 120Hz output from automatic to off, then go to accessories, then PSVR2 and scroll until you see video output and select that, the option to enable 120Hz will now be available. Without doing this, the setting remains locked. Anyway, you can now enable this as well as HDR if it isn't already, and can then re-enable the 120Hz setting back in those other options. I have no idea why you have to first disable this to toggle it, but if you do just leave it the default, 120Hz games in cinematic modes will appear to have the option to output at 120, but they won't actually be doing so. You'll know it's working if when you enable 120Hz in a regular game, the VR screen goes black for a brief second. If it doesn't, you'll still be receiving 60Hz into your eyes, even though the game is rendering at up to 120, so ensure that toggle is set correctly and give it a test. Honestly, being able to play games at 120 FPS or unlock frame rates completely in fidelity modes without a 120Hz screen is such an excellent feature of a PSVR2, so I don't quite get why this isn't just set up automatically. I do feel like this setting is worth a like and sub, so if you haven't done so already, please do, I'd really appreciate it. Setting number 4 is under accessories, then controller, and is to ensure both vibration intensity and trigger effect intensity are set to strong. The options here do not only affect the main DualSense controller, but also your VR Sense controllers. So if you've ever lowered this or turned it off for normal games, you won't be as immersed during your VR experience. I think it would be better if we had a separate lot of settings for the Sense controllers, but for now you'll have to change back and forth if you don't use a strong setting on your normal controller. Similarly, the 5th setting is also for the controllers and is under system, then power saving, and is to set the time until controllers turn off to after 10 minutes. The Sense controllers will last for about 5 to 6 hours of use for my testing, but let's say you just put them down whilst you go get some food for half an hour or so, and you completely forget to manually turn them off. When you come back, you'll have already wasted some battery life. So having an auto turn off feature just seems like a sensible idea. By default, this is turned off completely, so make sure you change it. Setting 6 comes under accessories, but is back under the PSVR2 submenu and is the mapping of the function button. If you play a lot of multiplayer VR games and don't find yourself using pass-through mode all that often, you might want to change this to mute the microphone instead, unless you are wearing headphones that have a button of their own, that is. Whilst you're in these settings, you might want to consider playing around with your screen size for cinematic mode. I personally like to have it a little over the halfway mark. Also, try experimenting with your boundary display sensitivity. If you find you're getting told you're close to your bounds too soon, then set this to low. Or if you're hitting your walls by accident, then change it to high. But for me, I've left this at the medium option, with every other VR2 setting I haven't mentioned at the default. If you want to know a cool little trick with the VR Sense controllers, watch the short on screen now or see the video below it for all the regular PS5 settings that you need to change. Also, please like this video if it did help you.